This is an unboxing video for a Samsung washing machine, model WA50R5200AW. And this is a 5 cubic foot capacity washing machine. This is the back of it, obviously. It came wrapped in plastic, and it also had these straps on it, which I have removed. And for the plastic, I have just cut the plastic down basically to there. And so, if we go ahead and rip it off the rest of the way, okay, then we've got this thick plastic up here, but the whole top just comes off. And now you can see the front of it. The estimated yearly cost is $17. So obviously it's no big deal on that. You can see the front of it there. And this is still taped shut, so we'll leave that taped shut. And go ahead and take all these pieces off. And that's kind of what we've got here. And if we look at what we have on the inside, we've got another piece of styrofoam, and of course the simple user manual. And we've got a cap here that screws onto something, and this is for helping the drain hose keep the angle that it should have. My guess is that this cap goes somewhere back here. Not really sure where, but we'll figure all that out. And so this is what it looks like down in the tub. And I'm going to pause this for a bit, and we will go ahead and get her better into place. You can see that the kind of angles in a little bit there and there. But we'll go ahead and get her into place. So to get the styrofoam off on the bottom of the washing machine, we basically just tipped the washing machine over on its front, which lets us see this on the underside. And a piece of styrofoam that it was sitting on is this right here. And if you look at this piece, you might think that this actually goes on the bottom of the washing machine, but it doesn't. This is just here to protect the washing machine. It's made out of a really hard plastic, though, that they use for packing. So clearly they have issues, or they had issues with this in the past, which caused them to add in that. The only thing that I've noticed so far, if you look right there, there's a little screw that is just loose. And so my suspicion, you can see we've got a little bit of a dent right here, but that's not a big deal. My suspicion, we've got that screw right there, but we don't have anything over here on this side. So my guess is that that screw goes right in there, and I'll go ahead and put that in before installing it. But you can see that it's basically just gotten squished in a little bit right there on the back side. So that's the install so far. So this is the space that the washing machine is going to go into. And I've basically just taken this thing out of the bag. It comes with a zip tie that we can use. And then that is going to end up over there. And that piece was not really meant to be undone. So we'll wrap that around like that, put that on there. And then we've got the power cord. It's attached right there. Got the cold and the hot water. And that's where these two hoses are going to go in. And so that's the rest of the setup. So now I'll show it with all that there. On the supply lines, you want to tighten them hand tight. You want to go just a little bit more on that so that you know that they're on there good. Don't need them overly tight though. That should be good enough. Okay, so now we have everything moved back into place. You can see that we've got the drain hose pushed in where it needs to be. We've got the hoses right there. And the only thing left is the power cord. And we can do the power cord right there through that. And that is the first time that we've plugged it in. So we did not get any noises or anything like that whenever we plugged it in for the first time. So I'll go ahead and push it back in the rest of the way into place. You can see that from the front we are still sticking out a little bit from where the dryer's at. We do have a little bit of a, you can see right down here that this is not quite normal. So the washing machine has been damaged at some point, but it's really minor, and so I don't think it's going to affect anything all that much. And so there you have it. So we'll push her back into place and then we'll figure out how this thing works. Okay, we've got it back to the point that we're going to take it to right now. And let's try the power button, see if it actually does anything. So if I press the power button, so there you go. That's how it works. And right now it's wanting to do a 54-minute cycle. I think we'll go ahead and remove some of this packing, and then I'll be back to show you a little bit more about it. The washing machine came with this simple user manual, and the simple user manual is basically a bunch of different languages. It's got pages and pages of warnings, and it's got one page on installation that basically says that you need an electric supply, and you need a water supply, and you need a drain, and you need a flat floor. And it's got one page of operations, and the operations page does not actually match up exactly with some of the settings on the washer itself. Like for instance, the manual talks about this super speed setting, and that doesn't actually exist. You know, we've got a quick wash, but we don't have super speed. So the manual is really kind of limited use. But online there's actually a full user manual that I will put a link to in the description, and it is 72 pages, whereas this one has maybe 20 pages. And what's on the screen is a lot more useful, so follow the link in the description for that. So one of the things that the manual talks about is for the initial settings you should run a calibration, and you can see that it ensures accurate weight detection. So we're supposed to start by making sure that the tub is empty, and you can see that it is, but hey, since we have a glass top, you can actually look down there, you can see that it's empty there too. Then it says to press power to turn on the washing machine, and then you press and hold temp and delay end simultaneously for 3 seconds. Then you press and hold start pause to start the calibration. So hold to start. Okay, so press that, press and hold. Yeah. Hold. Yep. Okay, then it says that the tub rotates clockwise or counterclockwise for approximately 2 minutes.
It's not.
Okay, there. It just moved a little bit. It just moved a hair. Oh, there's still a manual down in there. We should have checked for that. That might be the real manual.
Should we pause and check and start over?
Well, it's on video now. That's funny.
I can open it.
How in the world did we miss that? You probably can't open it. That's going to totally mess up the calibration though. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's locked.
Okay, so I'm going to pause the video right now and we'll start this over again at some point. Okay, so it actually was not a manual. It's actually... okay, we're newbies here.
We can reach the bottom.
Yeah. So it's actually all of the components that go in here for the detergent and softener dispensers. And so all that goes in there. And that would obviously greatly affect the calibration if we had left that in there. So we broke out of that, and we will, just to verify, it is now completely empty in there. So now we'll do the calibration again. Okay, we just started the calibration again. And one thing I will note, after we had done temp and delay end, the screen actually showed CB on it until we pressed the start button.
So I probably pressed temp too early before in that assignment.
Yeah, maybe. And so now it's going to actually go through the calibration thing. Probably did the same thing last time, I don't know, but this time it should work better since we don't have that weight in there to imbalance everything. Yeah, it's acting just exactly like it did last time where it moves. Okay, there. I will also note that we have left the protective film on here, so that's why you can't see down in there very well. I'm sure that if we had taken this off that it would be a lot more clear, but you can see well enough to see what's going on. So it says that the tub will rotate in both directions for 2 minutes, and then when it is finished, we should get a 0 up there on the display, and the washer will, quote, turn off automatically. This is kind of boring, so I'll wait until the end. So while the calibration is going on, a few things that I will notice, that I will note, you can see that compared to our old set, the dryer is a Frigidaire Gallery. It's a few years old, but you can see that it is much shorter than the new washing machine. So when you're choosing a washing machine, make sure that it's actually going to fit. The new washing machine is also about 0.6 inches wider than the old one was. Wow.
Is that the Samsung cheer?
Okay, so there you go. That's apparently how it shuts off. So that's kind of funny, actually. But the calibration is done, and now it is ready for use. And so basically they say that for doing that, you pre-wash things if necessary. We'll go ahead and try out this active jet or active water jet or whatever it is that they call it. Basically we should have water that comes out of there when I press the button over here. So if yeah, that's true. I'm sure it does have to be on, but I'll press it anyway just to test. Yep. So it's not doing anything with it off. If I turn it on, okay, that was quick. Didn't have a 30-second chime for that. Okay, now if we try it. And this is the very, 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 very first use. So here's a note. Whenever you use it, I'm going to turn it off for now. When you use it for the first time, one thing that you want to make sure that you do after the installation is actually turn the water on. So if we do that, okay, now the water is actually on. Test to make sure that we don't have any leaks. We look good there. Okay, now let's try this again. I think it
It's not
doesn't.
happy.
It doesn't like me for some reason. Yeah, it's probably trying to drain now. I probably just destroyed the washing machine. Okay.
We'll get unplugged.
Yeah, okay. I guess we're gonna unplug it. Yep. Okay. So we'll unplug it. Ah, that made it nice and quiet. Okay, then we'll plug her back in.
All right, big money.
Okay. I'm nervous now. Okay. That sounds better. So there you go. Had just a little bit of water leak out from down there somewhere, and then I'm gonna let go.
Okay, so it's kind of a strong stream.
And it's still going. So I'll press it again. Okay.
Okay, so off.
So that's good to know. So yeah, so you can turn it off and you can turn it on. And all the water just kind of disappears down there. We turn that on again. And it's all just draining in there. And it goes away. It has that nice new smell. So that's how the ActiveJet works. And one of the things you want to avoid doing that we did. So we're doing some sheets. And the first response was, oh wow, there's no center that I have to avoid. So obviously this model does not have the agitator, and we'll see how well that works. But you can throw stuff in there with a reckless abandon, and you don't have to worry about avoiding anything with agitator. Now we're using powdered soap, and so for that we took that out, and then you basically just take the powdered soap and you literally just set it in there. This is kind of weird, but that's what it says to do. And so you set that in there, and then apparently you push it back slowly, I guess, and then the powdered soap is in there and it is ready to go. And so you can see the slow close lid. And now for the settings,
I guess we'll do.
you can see that it's got the blue light around the ring so that you know which setting you're on.
Bedding or just
Whatever you gotta do, whatever's appropriate.
what's the difference? Okay.
So
it wants for whites, hot water, 2 rinses, and a kind of a high speed spin. And for bedding, it's usually a slower, middle spin. Let's try this. Bedding waterproof. Okay. And I don't think I have softener. Okay.
we did that. And presumably it's going to fill up with water first.
Now, does it
You
actually...
can see that it's blinking on the wash cycle right there.
So does it determine how much water goes in there?
It's probably figuring out the weight right now. That just angled just it just rotated ever so slightly. So it's going to figure out the weight.
I think I read something about it having like a balancing thing. We'll see. So the deep fill probably is if you want to override the automatic water settings and have it fill up all the way.
Well, there are no.
It says can be applied to specific cycles, so you can.
Yeah, but what I'm just now noticing.
Yeah, there's no water level off.
There's no water level. There's no small, medium, or large load here.
Yeah,
so it uses the weight, I guess, to determine
like a front loader.
How deep it needs to make the water on everything. That is kind of fascinating, actually.
Yeah, it really is like a front loader, top loader hybrid with how you load the detergent and stuff. It's interesting. We'll see how much water.
Okay. Water is pouring in there.
You can open it and nope, it's
Nope,
locked.
can't open it.
But if you press the pause button, I'm sure it'll.
And so the water is basically draining out from directly behind that detergent fill.
Looks clean enough,
And
right?
so, yeah, it's definitely, it definitely got that detergent out of there in a hurry, evidently.
It's quiet, fairly quiet loading.
It's supposed to be real quiet whenever it's running.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see how much water it puts in there based on the.
Oh, it's the inside of the glass is fogging up. Well, like the view's getting worse. But yeah, the inside of the glass is actually fogging up because of the heat of the water.
Now, can you change the temperature while it's going? No, you can't. So I know with like a regular old style top load, you can adjust
Yeah,
those
you can do whatever you want.
knobs. And
Yeah.
if I change my mind.
But now you can see though that it's pretty well completely fogged over.
So let's try this. Let's just pause and see.
Yeah,
So you can
it
then
opens quickly.
add some more. Oh yeah, so it is pretty. See how? Yeah, it's actually pretty hot water. I don't know if it needs to be that hot. So let me try to see if. See, no, you can't change it even.
Yeah.
Let's pause. Well, let's just see what happens. Oh. Okay.
And sure enough, it is locked again.
So we must. I don't know if we just have pretty hot water, but that was fairly hot.
So it's saying an hour and 24 minutes. There's probably not a whole lot to see from now on, especially with it all fogged over like that. I find it kind of funny that here we are impressed by the fact that it's got the glass top, whenever with a normal old style top loading washing machine you would not be concerned about being able to see anything at all, because you wouldn't be able to.
Well, that kind of
anyway,
hybrid,
I'll probably come back whenever it starts actually, quote, agitating, even though it doesn't agitate, just so that we can get a sound. And, ooh, yeah, it's spinning.
It's spinning, yeah.
Yeah, it's spinning.
We can get an idea of water level.
See it moving over there.
Well, that's nice, because then the clothes kind of move around and they all get wet. And
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back if there's anything interesting that happens. So you can see that it's been going for about 4 minutes now, and we still have water running through there. And if you look down in here, you can see that water is still running in, and it appears that apparently the bottom of the drum is spinning in one direction when the drum itself spins in the other direction. I don't know if it's just recirculating the water, and that's what we're seeing here, because the water level, it's not obvious that it's getting much deeper, and clearly none of the clothing is moving in relationship to each other. And so we'll have to see how this goes over time. Okay, so interestingly enough, it's probably been another 3 or 4 minutes since I last took any video. Well, the water has now stopped draining, and we can see that now it actually is spinning around and everything. So this makes me feel a whole lot better about how good a job it's actually going to do of washing everything. So you can see that now it's actually kind of neat to watch all that spin around, because you can really see that it is actually agitating things and moving the clothing around, so that it should rub up against each other and do a good job of cleaning.
well, and the water level is right at that level of clothing, so it is submerging it and pulling it down.
Yeah, it's pretty well where it needs to be.
Kind of like a blender.
Yeah, yeah, that's impressive actually.
Yeah.
And it's pretty quiet.
Yeah,
You can,
definitely.
You can hear it turning, but yeah, it's quiet. So yeah, we approve so far. And you can see that the time has now dropped to 1:19, so it is dropping. A couple things that I'll point out. I'm not entirely sure about this, but it looks to me like that the drum is probably a good 3 to 4 inches below the edge of the plastic up here. And I don't remember it being like that before, so I think that the entire drum might have actually lowered down. And we've currently got an hour and 15 minutes left, and I just wanted you to see the way that the agitation happens a little bit here. It's actually pretty impressive what it's doing with just causing everything to spin around and really cause the clothing to rub up against each other. So we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes, and the speed of the agitation has definitely slowed down a lot. I don't know if it's actually on the way to stopping or if it's just taking a little bit of a pause, but it's definitely not moving nearly as rapidly as it was before.
So satisfying. Yep, the lid is locked. It's nice it comes off fairly easily without leaving any residue. Oops, this might be here for a little bit. Okay. Now it's very visible.
It's good that the tank doesn't drip either, because it certainly could. That's what we're trying to do.
I am trying to be a little bit careful. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
finish it up later. Not a big deal.
Let's see this one. Okay, now it's officially ours. Oh, it's nice that they have the cold and the hot supply lines.
Yeah, what's annoying about that though is that generally speaking, hot is always going to be on the left and cold is always going to be on the right. And so I actually had to be careful to flip the two of them whenever I installed it to get that right. It's actually sped up again now.
I'll just do this one later.
So it did just slow down for a little bit there, and now it's sped up again. It's interesting. And we're down to 1 hour and 2, but you can see the distance right there, and
Yeah,
I don't remember that being there before.
No.
So we'll keep an eye on that. So it was really spinning a lot, and now it's just it's not even really spinning much at all. So it mixes it up. I don't know if it's trying to do that to dislodge things that might have gotten stuck in a certain way, and it thinks by varying the speed that it can hopefully dislodge them from each other or something. I'm not sure, but it is changing it up some. And you can see that a couple things we got on here, they're not lit up right now, but the one on the left is actually something like add close, and then it tells us that it's locked, and then it's got one probably where it's draining, and then it'll have another locked area, and the one on the end is a little bell, and you can see if we hit the alarm off, that turns on along with this being lit up down here, so that we know it's not going to be alarmed. Okay, so now rinse is blinking,
Draining. Yeah.
and you can actually see the water level going down.
It would be interesting to do a load without any laundry at all to see what that bottom center portion does.
Yep.
Compared to the
Can you open it yet?
no.
Still locked. And it says right there that it is, so it makes sense.
I feel like I should move this. It's reflecting.
It seems to be draining exactly the way it should.
Oops.
So the water has completely disappeared from anything we can see, but obviously there's a few inches down there below that, and it is still draining happily. Okay, it's starting to sound different now, and we're at 58 minutes. So we've switched to 56 and it's still saying that it's on rinse. We just had movement. And the drum is definitely higher than it was. Now you can see it's moving around. Moving around quite a bit, actually. Oh wow, okay, so it leveled itself out. It was banging against the sides for just a little bit there, not anything extreme, but that does not appear to be 750 RPMs though.
It's probably spin. You're not getting the final water out. It's on the C5.
Boy, it's very quiet. Yeah, it's really nice actually.
I can see why they keep the lid closed.
Yeah, now though you can see that the drum is probably 2 inches higher than it was whenever it had all the water in it.
Yeah, the weight of the water just brought it down.
You can see that there's really no vibration to speak of in the thing at all.
The whole machine is moving a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Boy, not very much. Yeah.
This is a fairly small load.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
One set of.
Now it's getting going now though.
So the max RPM is 750.
Wow. Yeah, that's moving on.
And sometimes a bedding setting doesn't have the highest spin speed because it's more bulky. But that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
If you were at a...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be sticking your hand out in there.
I was going to say, if you're at an amusement park and it's that one where the floor drops out, we'll be stuck to the wall.
You'd be dead if you were going this fast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we're down to 54. We'll let it keep getting all the water out. So we're down to 52 minutes and the draining from the washing part just stopped. Wow, that is really freaky. Basically taken the one sheet and covered the entire top with that. So before we bought this one, we had a front loader at our old house, and obviously we got a top loader this time. A few different reasons for that. One, you can see that this we have in a closet, and with the front loader, opening the door would be difficult. And the other thing in the front loader is that there's moisture issues. You know, you kind of have to keep the front door open just to keep it from getting wet in there and molding and just being problematic. You can see the bottom of the washer down there through the sheet, and so that is really interesting to see. But this kind of gives us all the benefits of the front loader. You know, we don't have the agitator in the way. It clearly spins very quickly, so hopefully it'll get the clothes nice and dry. It gives us a lot of the benefits without the problems with opening the door and just the moldy, mildewy smell that you get from the front loaders a lot of the time. The one thing that is different about this, though, obviously the top loader uses a lot more water than the typical front loaders do. But that is something that we're willing to sacrifice so that it'll actually work well in the closet and everything. We're down to 50 minutes though, and clearly it's just loading the water back in to do the rinsing. And we kind of seen this before. So we're down to 46 minutes, and it's still filling in the water, but you can see that it's started spinning just slowly, just rotating basically. And the water is, we've got quite a bit of water in there now, but it's spinning just to add movement, I suppose, and just help things get jumbled up a little bit. Here we are at 46, and the slow rotation just stopped. And it continues to fill with water. Still on 46, and the water has stopped. And here you can really see the action that happens whenever you have the spinning in opposite directions. It just really causes everything to start spinning against each other. It's really kind of impressive. And I suspect that it would be even more impressive if this was something other than a big huge sheet that's all stuck together. I've kept it running because it looked like there were parts of the sheet that were actually staying above the water line, but if you watch it, sure enough, everything is getting cycled around. Just takes a little bit of time, but it definitely does work. At 42, it stopped doing the larger cycling and switched into this mode of minor cycling. But you can tell from the clothes that are on top that things have been moving around in there. And sure enough, the water is draining. We do have it set to rinse one time, so my assumption is that this will be the end of that part. As it drains us down the rest of the way. At 39, it just had the sound of the water draining change, so that means, yeah. It's still on rinse, spin, and then it's changed. So it's behaving this time the way it's draining the water, basically the same way it did the first time, where it stopped pumping for a little while, and then it started pumping again. And my expectation is that it's going to start spinning slowly here pretty quick. You have the same thing here where it's starting out quite unbalanced, but then it smooths out. So we'll let it keep going like that, and we'll catch up with it in a little bit. We're only a little bit farther in. You can already see that all of the clothing is pushed off to the sides, and you can see the actual bottom of the washing machine. This also gives you a good idea of just how much the drum is rotating by how the center is moving around there. And it's showing that we're still in the rinse cycle. So even with this, it has still not actually started the spin cycle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we actually get to spinning. Because it's moving pretty quick right now. Okay, we're at 34. And we're still in the same settings. We'll see if it fills it up all the way again, or exactly what it's going to do here. So periodically you can hear it, it's making some sort of noise. It just turned off. It's just kind of cycling through that. It does look like it's going to fill it up all the way again. Kind of real interesting that you can choose to rinse up to 5 times. Seems like that would, it seems like overkill for almost every situation, but clearly there's a reason that they have that option. I'm just not sure what it is. We're down to 28 and it's still filling. One thing I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but there are various water droplets on the glass. You can kind of see them out of focus. And it appears that most of these show up while it is going through the process of filling. So, and you can see that once again the level of the tub is way down low. Clearly it's doing a second rinse. So whatever is in there in the clothes, it should certainly be out by the time it gets done with the multiple rinses. But we're down to 28 minutes, and it appears that, I mean, it takes the thing forever to fill up with water, and it's not like the water is running slow. The water is running pretty quick. this fact that it takes so long, you know, that's a significant consideration. And so every time that you add a rinse to it, it's going to add 5 minutes to fill up with water, and however long it takes to rinse and drain. You can see it starting to move everything around. Kind of mesmerizing to watch. But anyway, it's going through this, and I'll be back when there's something new to show. Just like before, it's gone from the long swishes to these short little things, which I'm assuming means that it's getting ready to start pumping the water out. We'll verify that, but that's my assumption on it. This is rinse number 2. We're at 24 minutes left. And sure enough, there it goes, and it's starting to pump the water out. Water's gone from there. One thing I will note is that this has now switched to spin. So my assumption is that once this thing drains all the way, we'll actually get some good speed up. We're at 21. It just paused from draining. Now it's doing the typical pump some more water out, and it should start spinning shortly. So the pump stopped probably 30 seconds ago or so. It does a good job of leveling itself out. You can follow the lines in the center to get a good feel for just how fast it's spinning. I'm not sure if this phone is at 30 or 60 frames a second. But it's really moving quite quickly. And just as sure as I said that, it actually pretty much stopped, or it's in the process of stopping. So it just totally stopped. I wonder if it's going to change directions. So it was going clockwise. No, clockwise is the direction. A little bit of a whirring there, and now it's taken off again. Maybe? I'm just not even going to predict what it's getting ready to do. This machine also has Smart Care, and Smart Care is a function where it actually hooks up to a cell phone app. I have not bothered investigating that part of it yet, but apparently it'll tell you if there are things wrong with the device, or maybe it tells you about the end of the cycle or what's going on with the cycle. I have no idea, but apparently it has Wi-Fi or something built into it. Another interesting thing is supposedly every 20 washes it will notify you that it needs to do a self-clean, and the self-cleaning is something where it just tries to get rid of any mold or soap or dirt buildup that's hidden in the machine somehow. I don't know exactly how all that works, but that's another feature that it has. It's nice. As we've been talking about it, though, we're just really impressed by the volume of it compared to the one that we had. The one that we had, I think, was 3.5 cubic feet that we're replacing, and this is maybe even a 3, and this one is a 5, and it just really has a lot more space in it that I think is going to be really nice to have. We're down to 13 though, and you can see that it's still spinning along nicely. So it just kicked off the spinning. Things feel very dry. Smell good, look good. I'd say it's a win. So there you have it. The unboxing, the installation, setup, and the first run through on the Samsung WA50R5200AW. Thank you much for watching.